Oh yeah, I think New Balance might have done it again. You probably remember my love for the original Supercomp Trainer from New Balance. Now, in its second iteration, I was excited to see what sort of changes New Balance has incorporated into their popular plated road running option. It's lighter, it fits a bit better, and that is a great start. The new 2-layer fuel cell midsole is bouncy, soft, and propulsive, which is a welcome carryover. It's also a good deal lighter than its predecessor. The Energy Arc carbon plating is back and provides that extra spring that I loved. While the shoe sits higher underfoot when moving, it's not cumbersome or annoying. The changes to the upper are also very welcome in my opinion, really allowing for more of a dialed fit. But the second version of the Supercomp Trainer isn't without its quirks that I think might interest some of you who might be interested in it. We have lots to talk about. Let's dive in.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. We're going to dive right on into this thing. We're talking about this shoe from New Balance. It is the Supercomp Trainer version 2. Fuel cell. Put fuel cell in there somewhere too. Lots to chat about with this shoe. I think it's a pretty fun update. But of course, before we dive into the review, a couple of things right off the bat. First and foremost, in the description, there is a link to our Patreon page that helps support everything that we do on this channel, from the music to the reviews to the films to the live streams. It is comprised of an amazing community of people from around the world, just like yourself, who are training and inspiring one another to race, to train, and to have fun while doing it. We have a Discord server, we do daily live streams. I highly consider you joining the GR crew. Second, the old Ginger Runner disclaimer that this shoe was provided for review by Running Warehouse. I'm under no obligation whatsoever to say anything positive or negative. I'm not financially compensated in any way for anything that I say in this review. All opinions are my own. No one has to approve this review. You're the first to see it, so give yourself a pat on the Supercomp Trainer. Right there. It likes it. Let's start with the basics. We like to talk about the things that we like and dislike. Today is no different. What are the things that I like about the Supercomp Trainer V2? Let's find out. The new upper and lacing. So version 1 had sort of a one-piece upper that had a lot of fold-over fabric problems. I got used to it, but it just was problematic to getting a really good dialed-down fit. Here in version 2, they just bring the laces back, and the upper is also a really nice, light mesh, very breathable. I just love the new design of the upper. I think that's a great plus. Softness. So this dual midsole material, I think, gives you plenty of softness and energy return, and I think it's a pretty good carryover from version 1. While it certainly might not have quite that energy return that version 1 had, like that speed orientation, I actually prefer a bit more comfort and a bit more softness, and this one definitely gives it to you. I like this fuel cell. It's one of my favorite midsoles. It's good. Roll through. So this is something that again carries over from the first version. I think the shape of this shoe kind of gives you an indication as to how it wants to propel you forward. Then you look underneath and you see that there is still that carbon plate that runs all the way through. And man, it is a dynamic ride. It is super fun and I just love it. I just think that roll through is really cool and unique to this shoe. That being said, it's not all 8-tier birthday cakes and caramel apple lollipops. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the Supercomp Trainer V2. Let's get to those now. The outsole. I don't think they've necessarily remedied the outsole solution for like wet cement, stuff like that, but really it's this giant gap right down the middle that collects rocks. So if you hit any sort of gravel, even if you're on regular concrete roads that has a little bit of smatterings of rocks here and there, it just picks it up like a vacuum. I can't stand it. Carries over from the first version. Bummer. The shoe's height. So this is actually something that I noticed from version 1. It certainly carries over into version 2. You sit pretty high in this shoe. Very reminiscent of, the Hokas of old, like the Bondi and stuff like that, where the shoe just feels bigger than it actually is. It provides you with a bit of stability, so the platform's not super dynamic in that you're gonna roll an ankle or trip or anything like that, especially for a lot of the road runners out there. It just feels high. So I encourage you to break the shoe in, get used to that height. Once you do, you'll start to feel all the good things that the shoe has to offer, but it's certainly something that takes getting used to. And finally, price, $180. That is a lot of money to spend. It puts it right in the realm of the Endorphin Speed, the Mach X, other plated offerings from other shoe manufacturers. I just wish it was a little bit cheaper. I get it, carbon plate, lots of foam, fuel cell, bounce, spring. Regardless, I have to put an asterisk on it that it's just expensive. I just consider $180 a lot to spend on a shoe. I consider anything more than that a lot to spend on the shoe. The problem is that that price point is now the normal price, and I just feel like I'm gonna be complaining for the rest of my life. That's how I feel. But that's it for dislikes. So let's get a bit more specific in our breakdown where we talk about build quality, comfort, fit, price, and looks. Starting with build quality. I think this shoe is built great. I actually think the materials that they're using are great and a step up from version 1. The mesh is more breathable. It feels really light. The midsole is still very bouncy and dynamic. That carbon plate just does what the carbon plates do well, and it just wants to snap you forward. I think the fit is decent, and I don't know. I just think the overall build of the shoe is going to last you a long time. Comfort, I like the softness. I like the springiness, and I like that energy. There's a lot going on here that makes me happy in the comfort world, and that's a good thing. Fit, right here through the midfoot and into the vamp, good fit. We don't have a lot of that fold over of the material that we did in version 1, so I think the fit is dialed in because it gives you more variability, and that is an important thing here in this version. Price, $180, I already mentioned it. I'd like it to be around $150. That might make me happy. $180 makes me just a bit poorer. And finally, looks. I don't mind it. I think it is plain, but New Balance does plain well, and I think that might be a bit on trend. There are nice, bright elements throughout the shoe, and the laces kind of show some of that too, so there is a cohesiveness to the design. Just pretty simple. That's kind of my biggest note. Bringing us to our conclusion. The shoe is pretty dang awesome. And it's a sneaky little devil, because I think a lot of people might glance over the shoe. You have words like Supercomp, you have trainer in there, and it kind of makes you think like, oh, this is just a shoe that's gonna take you to the gym, or maybe only work for running casually on the weekends. The reality is this thing is built to crush races of any distance, from 5K to marathon. And I have a lot of fun in it, and I think you'll have a lot of fun in it as well. My last criteria is if this is a buy, try, or a why. I'm sure you can guess by now, it's a buy. If you've got $180, I think you should consider this. I think you should consider the Endorphin Speed, and possibly the Mach X, but I'm kind of leaning towards this shoe because it feels the most dynamic out of those choices at this point in time. Are there other options that I'm missing? A6 Nova Blast, Super Blast? What am I missing here? Regardless, I think this is a great shoe, and I think it is worthy of a buy. Have you tried it? In the comments of this video, let me know if you have tried the Supercomp Trainer version 2, or perhaps the version 1, and maybe you're gonna upgrade. Let me know. And if you have any more questions, you want more information, or if you would like to get a pair of this shoe or any shoe, apparel, nutrition, anything for yourself, links in the description will take you over to Running Warehouse. They are affiliate links. They cost you nothing, but they do help the channel, so consider using them. We do appreciate any little bit that we can get, whether that's joining the crew, getting some merch, or using one of the links in the description. We appreciate that very, very much. That's it. We hope you're getting out there training hard, racing harder, and partying the hardest. We'll see you guys next time. Subscribe. Bye.